Hey everybody, Tommy here. Wanted to talk a little bit today. A topic got brought up this morning from one of the dealers that had a question about doing dual shades with a hood and housing on surface mount. Now, it's not an ideal thing to do because that basically means you have to mount one complete system to a wall. Then you have to mount another shade system over the top of the tracks of the current system you just recently installed. The only problem with that and the downfall is if anything ever happens to the back shade and you need to service it, that means you have to take down the front shade to be able to service it and then put the front shade back up when you're done. So it could be a service nightmare. It's not ideal to do that. Usually I like to instruct dealers to put one surface mount and one between jam, like behind it from the bottom of the beam, or inside mount, whatever everybody's terminology is, because that way it gives you the ability of being able to service both of them without having to dismantle one from the other. So I created a little bit of a display to kind of give the idea as far as what I would recommend doing if you have to do it this way and there's no other way. Let me turn the camera around and we'll go over a few things. Okay, so what I have here is a hood and housing with the track. Now, I would make sure and leave this cap on because if you don't get your other track exactly level when you're screwing it in, it could want to tip in and cause the track to float or not set flushly down on top of it. But you are going to have to physically take the hood and housing of your second shade, mount it to the face of this one, screw all the way through the track, all the way into the substrate, but make sure you have a long enough screw because this is about an inch here on this particular track for it to go all the way through and screw into the wall. So, I mean, I would say 2.5 to 3 inches to screw into the wall behind. And then what you're going to have to do is do that same thing is mount your other track to the face here, just like you did, but that would give you the ability of having two fabrics slide, back and forth. And I would put if you're doing it this way, this is the outside of the porch, your solar screen needs to be on the outside and your vinyl needs to be on the inside. The only reason why I say that is because the solar screen is going to protect the vinyl if that's what you're doing. Now, if you're doing a bug screen and a solar screen, I don't know why you would want to do that, but just in case you are doing that, hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. So this would be the two housing side by side. I didn't have another metal cap, so this was just an old plastic one that I had here from when we used to put plastic end caps on them. But I wanted a different color so you would see the difference of what the housings look like when they're sitting side by side. I mean, it is not ideally to do it this way, but if you have to, this was what I would recommend doing it. I have seen this done recently on another shade system to where the restaurant put a vinyl shade up first, and then they decided the sun was coming in and still heating up the patio, so then they wanted to put a solar screen. Now these, on that particular job, were mounted on the inside of the patio, so this one had to be screwed in all the way through into the stucco walls behind it. They used, I think it was 3-inch screws to run all the way through this, through that, and into the wood substrate behind it. And then they ran the cords, out here and plugged into the plug that was up here already for this existing shade that was already installed. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more information and helps you out with the project you might be trying to design and explain to a homeowner. Thank you, and let me know if you have any other questions.